Ni hao, ni hao, ni hao. Ni hao. Hi, I'm officially beginning a live stream right now, and I said, something about today being a special live stream. Okay, I can edit it right now. Okay, hi. Okay. Привет, друзья. Well, I can get, look at this live stream that's going on right now. You see alternate, world building live stream or something like that, which, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. So I'm officially beginning a live stream right now. And I'm going to start this with some music. I might make it Stellaris, I might make it world building, but we know that we're in for a fun live stream. So, привет, друзья. And, hi. So we're beginning some sort of world building type thing, and I decided this because we've been doing Stellaris for a while, and because we don't know where we're going in Stellaris, so I'm beginning to work on this sort of alternate history world, and I think that you guys would be an interesting crew to talk to. Okay, hi. Hello, my name is Boris. Hi, me, mein Jack, and hello, my name is Boris. Hi, hi, hey, mein Jack, and I am Russian. Oh, sorry. Hi, mein American. Hello, my name is Boris. Hi, hello, my name is Boris. Hi, my Jack, and I'm Russian. Oh, okay, I can. Yeah. So, we're officially beginning a world building live stream, and it's going to be fun.
It was a mistake.
And, yeah. So, of course, we can turn on some music. What type of, Put on some Russian music, Lamel. Okay. Gonna put on some Soviet-Afghan War.
With Facebook shops.
No. You are traitor to communism. Yeah, so I decided to put on some. I'm beginning a sort of I'm thinking of a new nation in Russia. Cool. So of course this is a live stream that's containing a map of the world. I'm going to do, I think, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do, but I'm trying to find it. Trying to find it. it's partially based on Chimgota. Sweet. So yeah, this live stream, it's going to be a live stream that's about world building. And I'm trying to... Okay. So I'm going to make a map for a specific setting that I created, and this is for okay. So I'm beginning. Okay. Slava Chimgota. Slava Tarakia. Yeah, I'm officially beginning this world building map. It's a world building map for a sort of world that I'm constructing known as Chaos of Democracy, which follows a Wolcadian loss in World War III. A Wolcadian loss based? No, not based. Wolcadia, it is based. But yeah, this is a Wolcadian loss, because guess what? The war was between a collection of Wolcadia and her allied nations and various enemy nations known as Pato. Democratic nations. Wolcadia was allied with China, various European nations, although it's kind of a mix. So it's Wolcadia, China, and Brazil. And the enemies of Wolcadia are Russia, Canada, and Taiwan, and various other European nations. Although European nations did not intervene. And so in this peace treaty, and so in the war, the various European nations tried to force Wolcadian... They tried to force a war. I might play as Russia in one of these RPs. Well, Russia actually is... They're going to have an election. And so the idea of... Well, however, the various democratic nations of the world that won, for example, Taiwan, that has taken over all of China. Of course, I'm going to do stuff for China and the various other countries in the world. In the future, this is only like an ultra template map that I'm going to be using later. And so, I think that in this setting, the Wolcadian nation was deprived. And so, what led to the war, this is what I know. So, Yaroslav was the Wolcadian king. He was a nationalistic king. His allies, the Qing dynasty, or the Mao dynasty, Qing dynasty or possibly New dynasty, though it doesn't really matter. And various European nations and nations within America. They lost a war to Canada, Russia, Taiwan, various European nations, and various nations within America. And of course, this is going to be a setting. Yeah. And so the Canadian nation, Wolcadia was fighting over this area. Canada is democratic yet ultra nationalistic, and they essentially Canada, they wanted to force the Wolcadian monarchy out. And in the war, they eventually got their wish. The Wolcadian monarchy was restricted to being completely constitutional. The Wolcadian nation was forced to reform. And the Canadian nation, they traditionally were trying to force their what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some music from the Russian. I'm going to play some Russian classical music because you might play as Russia in one of these RPs, okay. I think that the Canadians, they wanted to enforce a democratic system onto Wolcadia. They got their wish. Essentially, Wolcadia and her allies were pressured so much that they prematurely surprise attacked. And although Wolcadia had the initial advantage against countries like Canada, they were eventually beaten back. And once Joe Shera joined in the war to form the United States, essentially any hopes of a Wolcadian victory would be taken away. And so the United States was from Joe Shera, and essentially countries that were previously within America, and they deemed the creation of the United States, the reestablishment of the United States, necessary. So, of course, Wolcadia. Here's a question. Should Wolcadia be split up in any way? What should happen to Wolcadia? Because Wolcadia, before the war, had a colonial... Maybe Russia then fell into a nationalist revolution. Russia was against Wolcadia in the war. Although they could possibly have a Trump-like political candidate, like Vladimir Putin, or someone like that, potentially take over. So yeah, but what should happen to what should happen to the colonies of Wolcadia? So I'm going to draw a map of Wolcadia's colonial empire right now, and we're going to talk about what happened to the various colonies that Wolcadia had previously. Pre-war. And of course there was Wolcadia used to have Alaska. They purchased it from the Russians. But Canada claimed it. And of course, this is of course a map of Wolcadia's former colonial empire. And we're going to kind of discuss what happened to every part of it. So what part... We know what happened to Alaska because Alaska was a disputed territory. Canada... They were pressuring forces, and Wolcadia and her allies made a stupid mistake. And they decided to prematurely surprise attack. And so we're going to go into each and every part one of Wolcadia's colonies and see what happened. So we know what happened with Alaska. It was seized by Canada. Canada disputed it because they think that purchase, there was something to it, and Canada also offered. They gave up for a short time, but then they pressed the demand. And now they took over Alaska. Vancouver Island, though, I don't know if Canada should have taken Vancouver and Vancouver Island, because they were parts of Wolcadia earlier. They were parts of Govaritland. So should Canada take over, maybe Wolcadia got disbanded and its land was divided with other nations. I still want Wolcadia to exist, just in a severely weakened form. Because it's like this. Could the United States have just completely disbanded Japan after World War II? Or, well, they did disband Germany. But even then, the states, that made up Germany claimed themselves as proudly German. And Stalin offered to unite Germany. By the way, a little known fact. He offered to create a neutral, democratic Germany. But I think that the consensus is that Canada retook Vancouver and essentially did the exact same thing to Wolcadia that Wolcadia did with Vancouver previously. Except now it's anti-Wolcadia. So they took a land approximately around maybe from here to here. Okay. off topic, but right now I'm dying because some dude on Ludoshka's ideology, known as Chevskinism, is the stupidest thing ever. It's literally a mixture of Nazism, communism, and capitalism. How the fuck is that gonna work? Yeah. Canada took a part of Goveri land, but that mainly was a sort of nationalist resolve. And keep in mind the government of Canada, pre-war and after the war, they wanted to enforce a democratic nation within Wolkadia. They wanted the reestablishment of the United States to act as a good democratic nation to sort of impress on Wolkadia how wrong they were. And to show Wolkadia that it was utterly beaten. So with the territories like the Yucatan, Baja California, and Sonora, these territories are to us like Okinawa was to Japan, Ryukyu. And so, Okinawa and keep in mind, I'm not even really making this a roleplay server. I don't even fully know. So these territories to Wolkadia, the territory, I'm highlighting them in gray, although they shouldn't be in gray by the end. These territories are considered, they're like Hawaii is to us. Part of our homeland. Technically it's true with all of these, but these territories are firmly 100% Wolkadian with no exception. And even then, they sort of claimed into these areas and they kind of made a border with the Spanish around here. But here, with Baja California, the Yucatan, and and Sonora, right now these territories, and by the way, I wonder what should happen to these. Should these stay Wolkadian? Should they go to Mexico? Mexico, in this timeline, by the way, was, and in the Wolverse in general, is a Wolkadian territory. Well, not a Wolkadian territory, but a monarchy that operates under very pro-Wolkadia ideals. Yeah, they're Catholic, but they're a monarchy. And so the territories of Mexico, so Baja California, Sonora, and the Yucatan, should they be annexed into Mexico? Should they be put into Wolkadia? Maybe Neoskia could exist. Hi, it's Dutch. Hi. Hi, Dutch. Dutch Kalmar. Hi, Dutch Kalmar. Hi. Yeah. And so in this world, I'm thinking that there could be a compromise where Baja California and Sonora go to Volcadia, but the Yucatan goes back to Mexico, or perhaps to create a Yucatan state. Sonora and Baja California, yeah, they have a significant Hispanic population, but that's like, say if the United States lost World War III and it was forced to give Arizona and New Mexico back to Mexico and half of Texas. I think that too many Americans would be pissed off to do that, for that to actually happen. But yeah, so they give Baja and Sonora to Mexico, but well, they give the Yucatan to create a Mayan state, and of course, yeah. And so there's a protectorate of Volcadia that was involved in the war as well. The Cherokee, they were also involved on Volcadia's side. Because, keep in mind, Volcadia has allies such as Brazil, the Cherokee, etc. But yeah, we're probably guessing that and so the Cherokee, they were incorporated into a new Canadian puppet, basically, known as the United States. U.S. is it's basically a copy of the Canadian governmental system. Because keep in mind, I might not even call it the United States. I might call it, say, the American Confederacy, or something like that. Maybe, if we want to really be harsh on Volcadia, maybe an independent Falklands. Okay. Here's something with Volcadia. Here's a question that I want on Volcadia. How harsh should foreign powers be on Volcadia? Because Volcadia's opponents, they're basically a more flawed and less leadership-driven of NATO. So more like the Allied powers in World War II, where they had differences between the various nations. Say, Britain, very harsh. Okay. I'm guessing that there could possibly be a difference. Like maybe Russia, they just want to get Volcadia. They just want to strip Volcadia. Like maybe Russia just wants to try to demilitarize Volcadia, strip it of colonies, and Canada wants to. Maybe Russia just wants, or maybe Russia or something like that wants Volcadia, just wants Volcadia to pay fines, to pay money to Russia. Well, to Pato, and maybe demilitarize a little bit, maybe calm down. But Canada wants to completely wipe Volcadia off the face of the earth. We know that, okay, so they should be very harsh on Volcadia. But exactly how harsh? Like, what level? My grandma's dog says Privyet. Privyet, grandma's dog. But yeah, we know that the grandma wants to be very not the grandma, the Pato wants to be very harsh. Like, how harsh? What sort of stuff could they do in the treaty? you know, it's some sort of... It has to be harsh enough... Lamel. It has to be harsh enough for Wolcadia to pay for what they've done. Well, it's not really that Wolcadia and her allies initiated the war, but if you go towards who started the war, Canada's at fault. Canada pressurized the Wolcadian government to become democratic, and essentially the attack on Alaska, the Wolcadians, when Canada was issuing a military exercise right by the Wolcadian border, the Russians were attacking the Wolcadia could have maybe become Russified. Well, Wolcadia already was a little bit Russified during its earlier history. So, and we know that Russia in this timeline is the Russian Federation, Democratic Russia. But yeah. And yeah, Wolcadia. We know that the foreign powers like Canada were very harsh towards the Wolcadian nation. And so exactly how harsh? For example, Nashe Volchafonzin. But yeah, how harsh do we mean? Do we mean getting rid of Wolcadia's monarchy? Constitutionalizing the Wolcadian monarchy? Allowing Wolcadia to remain Vilcust, but just paying reparations? What are the exact demands on the Wolcadian government itself? I'm thinking, this is a sort of brainstorming thing that it might not work, and I don't know if we're going to do this again, but maybe we might. We might. I'm guessing that other people are going to have to join, though, in order to make it work. Wolcadia could have been betrayed. Well, okay. But the reason why Wolcadia... Just turn this into a Wolcast if it doesn't work. Okay. I think I might do that. Just something for a change. I could make it a concert live stream as well, if people would be fine with that. But otherwise, maybe not. But, yeah, with Wolcadia. What type of government would Wolcadia have? Would they be forced to adopt democracy? Would they be forced to become fascist? Well, not fascist, because democracy. Would Wolcadia be forced to be a democracy? Would they still be allowed to keep their ideology? I'm guessing not. I'm guessing that there would probably be, of course, the war, it's educated by everyone that it's all Wolcadia's fault. It's all the fault of Wolcadia and her allies, but no. It's not.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Only pay for the data you use with Google Fi's flexible plan.
No. But yeah, you know exactly how bad were these Wolcadians, and what did they do? Well, we know that Wolcadia they surprised attack, but it was also Canada's fault, and so yeah, Wolcadia was surprised attacked, and Wolcadia surprised attack, foreign powers. We need to know. Oh, Canada, our proud and Thoracian land. Well, that's with the Holy Britannic Empire. This Canada hates Thorax faith. The Canada that's right there, they actually, they are pretty much the opposite of the Holy Britannic Empire, except maybe their conservatism and their nationalism. But even then, the Holy Britannic Empire, they're nationalist towards Canada, America, Britain, France, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Southern Africa, various British colonies, India, etc. They're, but Holy Thracian Empire, the Canadian nation, this Canadian nation really dislike. So I'm guessing here are my proposed demands that could be enforced upon Wolcadia, realistically. And again, I'm not super ultra realistic. I'm just doing this as an example. So the demands that were placed upon the Wolcadian nation: 1. Wolcadia is to... I'm guessing that the demands could be A. Secularization. The Wolcadians would have to be, and B. Secularization, de-imperialization, decolonization, and demilitarization. Maybe make Wolcadia blast Azerbaijan out of existence with 500 trillion grenaders. I kind of want this setting to be somewhat serious, so we're just beginning to brainstorm it. I could do one for TES and basically as well. I think I might call it I might say like at 8:30. We might switch to TES. But I do kind of want this to be a little bit serious. And so Wolcadia, they were blasted by foreign powers. So here's what I'm thinking. A, decolonization. B, democratization. And C, secularization. Wolcadia is supposed to split from its massive and mighty and powerful empire. And remove its colonies. So Wolcadian colonies are no longer a part of Wolcadia. They're going to be part of other countries. You know, they're going to be A, independent, or B, not independent. Basically, any land that different nations claimed at Wolcadia outside of the Wolcadian homeland, which I might keep. I might let Wolcadia keep Vancouver Island. Outside of what is considered Wolcadia's direct homeland, that being Vancouver, mainland, etc. Outside of that, Wolcadia is supposed to abandon. So they're forced to forsake land, and also any colony gone independent, any disputed territory given to a land that would be not Wolcadian. So Wolcadia, they're still free, they're still rather independent, but they are, they have to reform their ideology. And so what ideology is that? Well, we know that that the various foreign powers have decided to constitutionalize the monarchy and any sort of party restriction. And here's a question, Dr. Terminator Show, if you are still here, Nioski, you still here? You still with us in the live stream, or is it just not worth it? I'm here. Okay. What should happen to the Wolcadian monarchy? Should it be completely abolished? Should it be completely constitutionalized? We know that Canada, they're the harsh nation that wants to utterly punish Wolcadia. And there are Canadians that say that Wolcadia shouldn't exist anymore. But there are also, but, and Taiwan, they just want China, so they don't care. They want Wolcadia punished a little bit, like, they want to get rid of the East Asian colonies, but other than that, they don't care. That's with Taiwan or the Republic of China. And, of course, Russia wants to kind of establish peace within Wolcadia. They care more about keeping the peace than punishing Wolcadia. That's sort of the role of the countries that I've already established. So, should Wolcadia be completely destroyed? Should it be... What punishment should be given to the Wolcadian nation? How should they be treated? Should I just end the live stream? Because I don't want to end the live stream. Is anyone paying attention to this? I don't know. If not, I can end it. So, what should be Wolcadia's fate? What should be the fate that is dictated to the Wolcadian people? Should it be, I want, because keep in mind, there already is conflict between Canada and Russia, and I think that Canada, after the war, they decide to elect more liberal and less overtly nationalistic politicians. And so does the U.S. Because essentially the nationalists helped them achieve their goals. Possibly a removal of their culture? A removal of their culture. Wolcadia lost, Russia, they care about keeping the peace, and I don't think that would be keeping the peace. Trying to remove Wolcadian culture would turn Wolcadia into Afghanistan, where the Russians once had a peaceful... Because, Canada wants to punish Wolcadia more than keep the peace. Russia wants to keep the peace more than punish Wolcadia. But yeah, possibly a removal of their culture. It needs, here's a question. Because, the Wolcadians, they value their monarchy deeply. Foreign nations, Canada wants to execute the king, execute the royal family, French Revolution style, drive the knights into poverty, and make sure that there's no legitimate way of creating a new Wolcadian imperial royal family ever again. Completely secularize the orders of Thoric's faith. That sort of Canada, completely... Canada wants to remove Wolcadia from existence. We are going to see a Wolcadian nation after this. Are we? Yeah, we are, because It's either that. It's either you create a stable ally out of Wolcadia without punishing them too severe, or you punish them severely. You know, do you make it a republic, like what happened with Russia? Maybe, maybe not.
It was
Possibly a Mexican invasion. Okay. Here's a question. I'm going to list a couple questions to you. 1. Should the Wolcadian monarchy exist at all? Because, again, there's a conflict between creating a stable ally, not being too harsh on Wolcadia, giving it fair and reasonable demands of a nation that has lost a war, and turning it into a reasonable and fair ally, or turning it into a Nazi Germany. The monarchy should fall. Okay. Okay, and should this be a term that's dictated to the Wolcadian people, or enforced by the Wolcadian people? Is this an internal or external decision of the new government? You know, Japan, Wolcadia wasn't nearly as bad as Japan because Nanking and all that. Wolcadia is basically Japan without Nanking, and without the atrocities that were committed during the Nanking massacre. Of course, there were some atrocities that were committed by Wolcadians, but none to the level of Nanking, and no atrocities that wouldn't have been committed by basically every other nation. And in these atrocities, Wolcadia has fully paid. External decision. Okay. Wolcadia, okay. Maybe, well, with monarchy should fall. The monarchy should, if it is dictated to them as an external decision, that's dictated by Canada. Russia is willing to vouch for the Wolcadian monarchy as long as they promise complete and total constitutionalism. Because Russia could dictate to Wolcadia If a republic is installed on the Wolcadian people, the Wolcadian people will not like the republic. If the republic is dictated by Wolcadian people, the Wolcadian people might have a chance of liking the republic. But, okay. Emperor Hirohito Lanzin. Man, I think that you are really, really, really behind, and I think that that's what is making it not work. And so... You're just... You are very, very, very behind with what I'm saying. And I'm guessing that that's probably the thing that is making this not work. And, of course, the fact that there aren't any more people to do this. So... I'm guessing that... Well, hang on. I'm going to do cosopt, and then I'll be back. Like, wow, man, this live stream is really... Yeah, it's pretty behind. And so... Fuck. I guess the only thing that can truly work would be Stellaris. There's a way I can figure out to do Woolcast again. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Well, no, not tomorrow. I'm going to do it on Sunday. It's either going to be a Woolcast or a Woolcast. Yeah. I'm going to do a Woolcast on Sunday. Either that or a Stellaris, because... You know, I can figure out how to get a Woolcast to work and with the webcam. Yeah. I'm going to exit the live stream right now. And, fuck, man. So anyways, this is Julius Caesar getting stabbed by Paedo. Well, anyways, this is Imperator Eroslav getting stabbed by Paedo. Back up.